You might hear something about the NBA. Maybe they'll just make your day on Two Honks, and Kevin. It's sports and life and family too. Let's all listen to Two Honks and a Kevin. Yeehaw! Crap my pants.
All right, especially today.
What a day. What is it with Wednesdays?
Yeah, I know. Wednesdays are just kind of crazy lately. People get fired.
Here's your gift. You had nothing today? Here you go.
Yeah, nothing to talk about? Well, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Man, so what's up?
I almost forgot about COVID today, man. like I was sitting there before we got on the podcast, and today is one of those days I forgot about COVID.
I forgot everybody was sick.
Yeah.
You just got used to it, I guess.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like it's been like this all week. Like Wednesday to Wednesday, it's been so much like going on. It's just like, hey, we don't have COVID anymore, do we? That's what it felt like.
Yeah. Yeah. Are we free now? Are we free to do whatever we want?
Never that.
Right.
No, yeah, for sure. Man.
So
go ahead, Richard.
Well, where do you guys want to jump off with? Do we want to start with NBA or do you want to start with the impeachment?
I don't know.
I'm going to give y'all a choice.
Yeah, no, I guess I want to talk about both. I'm pretty pumped about the NBA right now. I mean, that was.
Well, I say we start with the impeachment first, then.
Okay.
Impeachment. All right.
Yeah, then we could trail off with the rest because I feel like once we get started with the NBA, we probably won't stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, as I like to refer to him as DJ, just got impeached for the second time. First president in history for that to happen to. At this point in time, I think Jared said it best. It's basically a dick measuring contest. I
don't know if you wanted that out there, Jared, but you are accurate. This is too rich.
Yeah. The Senate's not even going to be back until the 19th, and his last day in office is the 19th. So, what are we doing? Like, I don't know what they can do at that point. After the fact, I think the best. I think the only thing they could really do is, have him not be able to run again. But by then, he's like 78, 79 years old. So it's like, well, I don't know if
isn't that the whole purpose of them trying to impeach? I mean, what's the point of them impeaching him? I mean, isn't that the reason, just to prevent him from ever running again?
I think that might be the whole. See, that's the thing is I've read kind of contradicting stories about whether or not he would be able to run again, or whether. But I think the whole thing it comes down to is whether or not the Senate actually finds him guilty.
Right.
So impeachment.
So what is he being impeached for this time?
So
I don't know what he was impeached for last time, but
this time we won't get into last time, but this time he's getting impeached for basically inciting the riot that occurred. When he encouraged everybody to run to the Capitol and voice their displeasure.
But he didn't tell him to go in. I mean,
I don't know what was going to happen. I mean, let's be honest. It's like,
I mean, he said go march. He didn't say go break into the Capitol and steal stuff, or whatever they did.
He just hyped everybody up, man.
It's a rabid fan base.
Yeah, I mean, you get a bunch of lunatics together. I'm sure something crappy's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too is like he had to have known like this kind of thing was going on, right? Like that's his fan base. Like he has to, like from everything I've read on Parler, like this was already planned. So he had to have known.
The marching of the march or the going into the Capitol building?
Going into the Capitol building. So they've, I guess there's been evidence now that they have found, because they basically archived Parler before they took it off of Amazon. Amazon is the hosting server. Somebody archived it, and they actually were able to, using Parler, and I guess when you go onto the website, it like caches your geolocation. A bunch of those people that were on Parler were inside the Capitol building and were part of conversations to break into it.
Okay, what's Parlor?
So Parler was basically Facebook for racists.
Okay,
To be
so
kind of
they're saying they're saying Parlor showed up and basically
Yeah, so
did this.
basically, the basic thought was behind Parler was free speech. And when you say free speech, you mean whenever you say my freedom to speak, you're basically saying my freedom to say whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how ugly and racist it is.
So is it like a group? Like I'm imagining it's like a group site, like where all these
It's
forums
Facebook.
are,
It's
and
Facebook.
you can find a group that fits whatever you hate or something.
Yeah,
Am I right?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's real easy to get 20,000 people to join a Facebook group of whatever, right?
Bronies or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's something
yeah,
for you. Yeah,
yeah. Frog collectors. I don't know. I mean, it could
yeah.
be
yeah.
anything.
I think the big issue with this, and look, Reddit ran across the same kind of issue, and they had to clean up their act. So it's not like Parler was the same thing. The big issue they run across is a lot of these people go to these sites that they know aren't moderated or that are touted as freedom of speech sites because they know they can then go say what they want. So there was no moderation, And
Mm-mm.
when I say moderation, I don't mean tell people you can't say that or can't say this. Amazon has come out and said they have highlighted hundreds of posts that that basically are violent and encourage violence, encourage rape, encourage murder. And that's I guess that they said that they had warned Parler multiple times about their website since
Mhm.
November, October. And so I guess taking it down should have been no surprise to Parler.
So you said it was Facebook that was threatening them, or that shut them
Amazon,
down?
Amazon,
Amazon.
yeah,
So
sorry,
hold on,
Facebook, yeah, Amazon. So
hold on.
basically,
No, you said Amazon. I thought you misspoke. So how does Amazon? What does Amazon have to do with Facebook?
so Amazon basically hosts their server. So basically, if you're a company and you want a server, you go to Amazon
Mm-hmm.
and do Amazon warehouse servers, right? So then you use Amazon to host your site, basically.
Okay.
So Amazon can basically pull the switch on you if they decide you're doing something that's against their, policies or whatever.
Right.
Um,
So do we agree with this?
so there's a few things that we have to keep in mind. One is it does make me nervous to see how it only takes 2 or 3 companies to basically wipe you off the face of the earth. That
Mhm.
does, make you nervous. It legitimately makes you go, well, what's the repercussions if they do this to a company just because they become too powerful and they say, oh, well,
Right.
you're becoming too much of a competition to us, so we're just going to take you down.
Right.
I would assume there would be some sort of a check and balance in terms of legality that would stop that from happening. Um,
Right.
you know, however, because I guess they've been warned and told to moderate their site better, and like I said, they're not the first website to have to go through this.
Yeah, it didn't like I think I've heard something like where all the like sex trafficking went on, like a whole bunch of websites got like shut down and stuff because
Mm-hmm.
they told them to clean up their act and then eventually it didn't happen, right?
Right, right. Yeah, it's Facebook has to go through this in terms of child porn, sex trafficking. Twitter is the same way. Reddit was the same way. Parler just chose not to clean up their act.
Hmm.
You're going to start a business like that. There has to be a form of accountability, right? It's like
Right.
Yeah.
you can't just be like, okay, well, this is a safe haven for creeps.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
If you literally allow anybody to upload a video without some type of viewership, you're going to see some of the well, I mean, I'm sure on the dark web or wherever, I'm sure you can find the most gruesome stuff in the world. But
Right.
yeah,
yeah, so
there's
yeah, I get it.
go to.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, obviously, my first thing is like, hey, if they're a group of racists, yeah, they don't. I don't want them to have a page either. You know what I'm saying? But then, kind of like you're saying, there is that steep line of like, well, like who can say who can have a group? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, obviously, racist people just need to be wiped off the face of the earth, anyways. But, but like there is a thin line there, I guess. Like kind of like what we're saying is that who can they just shut down anybody? If anybody that doesn't have a belief that matches theirs or a perspective that matches theirs, that's where it gets a little sketchy, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Kevin, go ahead.
Um, well, I would just think. I mean, it sounds like they just needed moderators, right? Like somebody watching this
Mm,
and policing this, and then but this particular site, like it just doesn't have that. But like Facebook and Instagram groups, I think are pretty much like they get moderated, you get checked, and like you even have to like join the group and get cross checked, right? It
yeah,
just sounds like
yeah,
this was like just a rogue site that people know about and went to, and this what helped organize some craziness. So, I mean,
So kind of back on where we were then. So is that the group that was marching, or I mean, who? Because I've also heard that there were also people a part of the group. No different than I don't know if it's Antifa or I don't know what the heck Antifa. All I know is every time something bad happens, Antifa gets blamed for it. I don't really know who
right?
Antifa
Somebody
is,
always says, yeah,
but they have taken the blunt of all of this. That's all I know.
yeah.
Don't be Antifa.
I think they were trying to blame. So I think for a while they were trying to blame Antifa in making statements that some of the head people that got caught were technically Antifa.
Yeah.
But they weren't. I mean, it's yeah. I don't know the whole Antifa thing and the QAnon thing, right? They're different sides of the same coin, right? They're both the extremist side of what the other side believes in.
yeah,
QAnon is freedom of everything, freedom of speech, freedom of to have your guns, freedom of of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Antifa on the other side is freedom of what they believe in. Um,
So,
yeah, I don't
what
know.
is that?
Yeah,
Freedom of throwing bricks.
Yeah, I
right,
don't
right.
know. Yeah, I mean, I think both sides behind hide behind what they claim to be a righteous cause, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you say, well, freedom of speech is sacred, right? That's why we are where we are. If it wasn't for freedom of speech, you can look no further than China in terms of, you can't even call the leader in China Winnie the Pooh without being thrown in jail and executed. Like
Dude, for
uttering those
real.
words will get you executed.
For
Uh,
real. They
Whereas
don't care.
here, Donald Trump spent 4 years getting torn apart.
Yeah.
And whereas Antifa and them, they claim to support Black Lives Matter, gay rights, things like that, but it's the extremist side of it.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's like we said last week. It's the extreme sides
yeah,
of both of this that's
yeah,
making it seem so crazy. I really think the majority of us can have conversations and work things out. But I mean, look, I mean, some people think that, the world's about to completely change, and I'm sure it is. I'm sure there's going to be some things that, for sure, our taxes are going to go up if he's going to keep handing out money.
Hey,
yeah,
That's what I wanted to ask. Like, when they say stimulus money, where like I always think that eventually I got to pay this money back, right? Where does this money come from? Like, now people are always just like, hey, just print more money, and that's how I feel like that where we're at right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are just getting checks, and we're talking about more checks. You know?
yeah. I don't know where they expect to get the money from at this point in time. I mean, other than just raising taxes,
Right.
That's yeah.
but
The
that's the MO of bigger government, right? Whenever you get big government, your taxes just go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone likes to be handed some money, but there's going to be a consequence to this, and for one, just the value of money goes down. So therefore, I mean, everything's just going to be more
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
The
Because
next
the
house,
debt
the
is the
next
debt. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, and that's the thing. We just like we're really doing it, and I don't really follow Dave Ramsey, even though I feel like I should. But like his method, I think is the smartest thing. But America is the opposite of that. Like we're okay. It's like someone said it on the. I think someone said on a group check. It's almost just like, oh well, we're in debt. Rack up some more debt. Just open up a new
I'm
credit
good.
card. Who cares?
Yeah.
We'll pay it. We'll pay it off eventually. You know, I got the rest of my life to pay it, right? And that's what the government's doing. I just borrow a couple trillion more dollars. We'll make up for it in the end. You know, but I don't know. But even to me, it's like it's great that I get money. I love it, but I haven't lost my job. I haven't like sure it's still tight. It's always tight, right? But I mean that's just life. So it's like yeah, I'm great. I'm glad I'm getting it. But in all honesty, if it could help keep a restaurant open or help another family that legitimately can't find a job, like I mean, I think I would so much rather know that that's where my money's going. But that doesn't. I mean, that's no different than our taxes, though, right? I mean, that's what we're doing, and we don't know where that's going. So I kind of like what old boy from Barstool Sports is doing. Did you hear about him?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he opened
He
up the thing for he's got like $20 million so far in donations for
Oh
bars.
yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
yeah, just to help out restaurants and stuff. So,
Right.
anyways,
And
So I
I
think
kind of think of it kind of like that too. It's like I really don't need it. Like if I could give it to somebody, I would. But like I'm getting it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Oh
Like
yeah, I mean,
there's people are
if
doing harder off than me, and I'm like, hey,
right,
you can have this, but it's just like, all right, we're when does it
but it's
stop?
still,
You know what I'm saying?
but it's still not even enough,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Like
not. Yeah,
you go give that to a single mom and that's been out of work all year or whatever, and just trying to get by it.
and that's nothing. Yeah,
Thanks, thanks. It's already spent. Can I get it again? So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah,
Right.
But
I think a lot of the issue is lazy government, right? The government didn't feel like they had the time or whatever to investigate how to spend the money to help. Instead
Right.
of just handing out checks, they could have done things like giving it to organizations that somebody would have to apply for the use of the money.
Right.
Or pretty much what like you would food stamps or something of
yeah,
that nature.
Yeah.
You
Somebody
exactly.
that
don't hand out
qualifies for it.
cash, you
Yeah.
hand out what they need. You need
Yeah.
food, here's food. You need check for your rent. Okay, what's your landlord's information? We'll get your rent, take care of. I don't think it was wise for them to just hand out, and like everybody else here, I'd like the money. I used it to pay off my car. Like it is what it is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I have kids and things like that, and and I think we also discussed my extra money went towards tips, and
right.
paying for, restaurants and things of that nature to try to do my part to help. But I feel like had they done that and done some sort of investigation in terms of restaurants and how much money should we set aside for restaurants and what restaurants need help.
Mhm.
Instead,
Right.
we hear stories about big corporations getting $1 billion here or there, like a corporation that didn't need it. I think at one point in time I read a story where the Catholic Church got a couple $1 billion.
Yeah, I sent you
God,
guys that story. Yeah, I sent you guys that story. Yeah, that was
that makes
ridiculous.
no sense.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
makes zero sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's crazy,
and
dude.
it does.
Oh,
And let's be honest, as much as there are churches out there that do the good things, and there are Catholic churches that do need the money so they can provide for the patrons, and they do food things, and they provide homes, shelter for homeless. I don't think
right.
they needed $4 billion. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
And then
that's
Joel's team, his church got money. I think I
yeah,
seen you guys.
Joel, yeah,
Yes, a
I read
super
that.
church, a guy that's getting more money than anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Yeah,
just
it.
makes it unfair.
It just makes you, especially that amount of money. It just makes you feel like the churches are being used for something.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying? Like, I mean,
the churches already get tax-free money, right? I mean, they don't pay
Yeah.
taxes the way it is, so they're already getting a plus from the governments. So I just think it could have been done a little wiser and a little better. And
Uh-huh.
I think that's really where the downfall was their lack of
And then
lazy government.
I also kind of agree with you, Richard, because I think that it's kind of late now. Like, because I feel like if you're a waitress and you're out of a job, you probably have a job now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like I feel like
Mhm.
it was kind of late to get this money, and I'm just like, oh, we're getting more money. Okay, cool. And then on the church side of things, I always feel like, hey, I'm cool as long as the church is doing something for the community that I know that they're doing for the community. But if you're just closing down your
exactly.
doors, you're not helping people get through this, which I've heard and seen from a lot of the super churches. Like they didn't want anybody staying there and stuff like that. but you're willing to take this money and not do the work for the community in your area.
But wasn't it his church too, where he closed the doors during the hurricane and wouldn't let
Yeah,
anybody
yeah,
in? I think he
absolutely.
finally did let people in eventually after he got chewed a new asshole for it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
talking about the Joel dude?
Yeah.
yeah. Joel is saying, yeah.
He's got to be like the worst example of like what a good Christian man should be. I feel like.
Right.
I mean, dude, I've seen some videos with that guy. He looks evil, man. He looks evil. Was he the one that was like like I don't know if you saw it where he was like blowing in the TV or in the screen or whatever about COVID. COVID be gone. COVID be. I mean, dude, this
No,
guy.
that's another dude. That's the one with the jets. He has
The
3
J-
jets. That's called the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It's
oh
somebody else.
yes,
That
Yeah,
dude's
yes.
rock
I,
and roll. He's rock
Yeah.
and roll, man. He's like, I
Oh,
fly
yeah.
around and fight demons. Like what?
Yeah.
What?
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a mess. He's a mess.
COVID, be gone.
COVID be gone. Yeah, COVID be gone. It's a mess. Hey, we got a visitor. What's up, Jared?
Kevin and his big goat.
I'm just here for the dick measuring contest.
You already heard of that
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
That's funny. I feel like you win. That's a pretty good introduction.
I know, right?
Kevin with the
What'd you say?
Kevin with his Slurpee.
Dude,
not-
I mean,
It's sweet tea tonight. It's Chick-fil-A.
that's it.
Hey,
That's it.
and let me tell you
That's that
about
Jesus sweet tea.
Hey man, let's tell you guys about the Chick-fil-A story 30 minutes ago. I literally so my wife and daughter love Chick-fil-A, so we go to Chick-fil-A, and I wanted something different, but I just get kind of pissed because I'm looking at all these cars. I'm like, why would I ever want to go here? Why is it this good that you put yourself through this to go through this and then spend $40 and wait that
You know
long?
why?
It's just like, why?
You know why?
Why?
It's because it's
Why?
still quicker. It's still quicker than going anywhere else.
It is, and hold on. Let me tell you about. Have you guys tried their mac and cheese?
No, my kids love it.
Bomb.
Oh my god! Hey, that mac and cheese is stupid fire, dude. Yeah, it is stupid fire. I had it for the first time last week. Hey, you guys need to try Chick-fil-A mac and cheese. Yeah, it is. And I'm always like that, dude. When I go to Chick-fil-A, why did you put me through this? Why are you have to be this good that I'm just gonna sit here and wait? I'm gonna sit here and wait through
Why
100
you gotta be
cars
this
before I
good?
get my stuff. Before I get my stuff, and then you take all my money, and it's just like, all right, that's cool. My pleasure, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I know we've talked about it, but it is crazy how that place just. I don't know if it's just but like we've said, they have a good reputation, right? That's what it all comes down to. You're going to be
Just
greeted
a
with my
chicken
pleasure,
sandwich, dude.
but
That's all
it's
it is.
good
And
and the
it's the
service is good.
It's the simplest thing. Why is it up? I don't understand why we put the chicken on a pedestal, dude. I don't get it. Help me understand this. I was seriously having this
You're killing me.
conversation in the passenger seat with my wife. Why are we doing this? I would not wait anywhere else. Anywhere.
How long did you have to wait?
We waited 15 minutes. Just because
Okay.
it was 6 o'clock.
Did you do it on the app?
Nah, we didn't do it on that. We just went.
Yeah, you.
Normally we
you
do
do
it
it-
on that.
Oh man, you do it on the app. You do pick up parking, bro. Psh, you done. 15, you out.
Stupid, man.
It's crazy though.
No, I do not get it. It is just a chicken. It's all it is a chicken sandwich.
but I also think it's because it's not a hamburger. You know what I'm saying? You're going there for a reason. You're going because you want a chicken sandwich. But why don't people go to KFC as much or Popeyes
That's what I'm saying.
Hey man,
just a
it's
chicken
mark.
sandwich. How
It's
many
marketing.
chickens are dying a day from Chick-fil-A? I want to
Those
know.
are- Those are.
It's
Hey, listen
that
to
many
me.
people every day. It's 1 million people every day. Guaranteed
Listen to
it's a
me.
million.
The good thing is, when you eat a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A, that chicken was a Christian and it went to heaven when it got
want-
slaughtered. Richard
I
shaking his head.
want I want to go to the factory and see how many chickens they're killing in here, man. I want to see where this Christian chicken comes from.
Yeah.
And I just
No,
avoid. I mean, one, I don't. It's not hard to avoid. It's Starbucks and that stupid line wrapped around whatever the building that it is, and it's Chick-fil-A. I
Yeah.
won't wait through their drive-through unless it's like not crazy. I will go there, but I'll use technology as my best friend and use the app and order ahead and be
For
smart
sure.
if I plan ahead and want it. But like Starbucks and Chick-fil-A, like no matter what time of the day, always got a line, and I just
It's
don't.
crazy.
Take my money.
Yeah,
Take my money. Here it is.
It's marketing, man, and it's just when you're considered, I guess, the best of fast food and the best of coffee. So
I wanna see a bad review for Chick-fil-A. That's what I want. I'm gonna look at Google tonight and look up a bad review for Chick-fil-A. I want to see it. I've never heard it.
I bet they don't go to church.
There you go.
Jared, you worked at Arby's for a long time. You got any crazy stories for us or anything?
I mean, yeah. I mean, people. I mean, I've dealt with some craziness. I've always, you have to pound out some myths. People will call you an hour after they ate there, and they're like, I'm on the toilet and I'm throwing up and it's coming out both ends, and I'm like, okay. Food poisoning takes 24 hours to kick in. It doesn't happen an hour after you eat it. So I'm sorry. I mean, it's just things like that. I mean, you've got to talk to people who don't really know anything or always want something for free, and you just learn to deal with that. And I mean, that is what it is. And so, I mean, I'm glad to not be. My wife is here.
Hi, wife.
Hi. I missed
What's
you
up?
guys. I gave him such a hassle about not being on the last one because I missed you guys so much.
Oh, do you only listen when he's on?
No, I listened to the last one. I was just annoyed that he wasn't on it with you.
I was working.
Oh, we thought you were sick of hearing from him, so we didn't want to make you have to listen to him on radio.
The only one of you I'm listening to. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I won't say that.
Oh. Goodbye.
Yeah. Jared just came for the contest anyway.
I seriously love you. Don't take that the wrong way. I love you all.
We're just here for the content. If you listen to it again, you'll understand the reference.
What contest? Guys, are live right now because I did not get a notification, and I'm your number one.
Yeah.
Like it should notify me.
we're on Facebook right now. Yeah.
Yeah. You are our number one fan, so.
Damn Zuckerberg. See you guys.
There you go. We've been banned.
Oh damn.
We got
working fast food and working. I work pizza. I work fast food. Arby's, Wendy's, McDonald's. I mean, you see some crazy stuff. People always trying to get something for free. You just have to. I mean, I always just tried to level with people. There were people that you just couldn't level with, and they were their own sort of crazy, and you just had to, more or less tell them, try to reason with people. But some people don't reason or don't have common sense and aren't able to understand you. So I mean, yeah, I've had to call the cops on people. I've had to, escort people out of the building. I've had to do those type of things all over, messing up, putting mayonnaise on something that shouldn't, or forgetting an item. They don't
That's what I always get in trouble for.
What's that? Don't screw that up. But
hey, Jared, you know what the number one thing I've learned from working in food is to never complain to somebody that cooks your food.
Right?
That is my number one. Like, I'm never gonna complain. I might ask for my money back at the end, but I not want food back.
Correct.
I'm not. Yeah.
But do those
It's power.
Huh?
Somebody who makes a little money, you know.
You're the most vulnerable person ever.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're the
And I've seen things happen.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie. It's one with it's called Waited. It's with the guy from Deadpool.
Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, and it's about a restaurant and
yeah.
what the people got there. It's a really good movie, and every time I hear people talk about working in food, it reminds me of that movie because it's like right spot on. Yeah.
Well, and it's just conditioned me. Like whenever I go into a place, no matter how bad it is, like I can go into a restaurant and assess a situation of, if they're short staff, if, like kind of what's going on, if it's the cleanliness level of a restaurant, I can assess that all. I mean, you go to the bathrooms, you can assess it. You drive by their dumpsters, you can basically know a restaurant's cleanliness.
You look at their floors, yeah.
Their floors. 5 minutes, you can know. And if you're gonna stay, or I mean, me personally, if I'm gonna stay, I know that it's not gonna be perfect. And obviously I have a high tolerance for it because I worked in it. I knew what it was like when you had two knucklehead 17-year-old 18-year-old kids who just decided not to show up one day. When had they shown up, everything would have smoothly. But people in the drive-through or in the restaurant for their food, they don't care. They want their food now, and they have an expectation level of when it should be. And so, like, I have a higher tolerance for it because obviously I know the pains and the struggles that those managers, those other workers go through when they have to take on the role of 2 or 3 other people. So yeah, no, I'm with you on that, Kevin. I give people hell a break. Like I just try to inform them. I don't ever try to get anything for free. I just want to let you know, I didn't get this. I don't want anything. I just thought you should know.
Yeah,
exactly. Yep. I worked in food business, so I get that too. But I do get a little upset. I did work at Chili's.
Shut up, Rob.
I do get a little again. I do get a little upset when my order's messed up. So but I always get it. I'll eat it, but sometimes I will take it back. Like if it's not right and I'm spending, 15. It's one thing if it's Chick-fil-A. It's another thing if it's a $15 steak or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like so I have a little bit of that. Like hey, if I'm paying for this, I want it to be what I'm paying for. But yeah, I get it. Well, do we want to move on to the biggest news in NBA?
Yeah, we can go ahead and mark this on as officially moving on to NBA news. Blake, I'm going to let you run with this. You are super excited.
So for those that don't know, there's a massive trade that just happened in the NBA, which took James Harden, who's been playing for Houston, and just moved him to Brooklyn Nets. What gets me excited is that you literally get to watch 3 of the best scorers in the NBA on one team, and you get to watch how they work. So I kind of alluded to this a few weeks ago on the podcast. Like I've really kind of looked at the NBA as just like an AAU team, AAU league right now, where the players are kind of picking where they want to play, where they'll fit in best. And there's part of me that kind of likes that because it's like, the 4 of us had a team or whatever, of course you want to go play with another great player or try to get him on your team and yada, 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 right? So there's a part of me that just likes that I'm going to be able to watch 3 of these guys that are literally 3 of the best scorers in the NBA, in the world, and watch them try to beat teams, So I don't know, that's what kind of got me excited. But, I also was excited that the Pacers got a new player, even though it bums me out that Oladipo's gone. But so yeah, I don't know. I think I like the news. I like the big headlines. I kind of like to see how new players do with new teams. But it also showed you what it takes to get a superstar like James Harden.
Yeah, and you bet the farm on that. So the Rockets got essentially 8 first-round picks from that trade. They got 4 first-round picks, and then they basically had another 4 first round pick swaps on that, plus players. The Rockets win the deal, right? Um, I think
For the future, yeah.
yeah, for the
Ah,
future. So they definitely don't lose. If the Pacers won on a deal because even after all this, Oladipo can still leave Houston next year. You know, if he's not happy, we're unsure if he's happy or not. We get a younger player.
Isn't it
Um,
crazy how how his career has? He's a really good player, but he gets traded all the time. It's
yeah,
really
this is
weird.
what the third time or second time you got traded. OKC. Well, no, he
Orlando.
started at the
Who?
Maggots, OKC, and then the
Uh,
Pacers, and then now, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
it's just the league where it's at now. It's I want to play with who I want to play with, and it was just like I said, hey, don't be mad when Victor Oladipo says the same thing. But I was thinking at the end of the year, literally 2 minutes later, Blake sends a message and is like, "Hey, Oladipo got traded." I was like, "What?"
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
where the league's at. These guys want to play with who they want to play with. I don't feel like Harden owes Houston anything. To be honest with you, like he's putting in his time,
I
and
and
if you're
I
not happy, you gotta go. You know,
yeah.
like you can
I
see it.
I Right. And I agree. I don't think there's a good way to exit. I mean, look, I mean, like we said, Oladipo just got, shipped out and he didn't have a say. It's a sucky part of the business. So if you are unhappy, or, I mean, it's no different than any of us at a job and, you really want to get that big bonus at the end of the year, that big championship, and it's just like, dude, I've been here for 9 years. Like, Coca-Cola is always going to be better than Diet Right. It's like I want to go. I want to go play for Coca-Cola right now, man. I want to take that chance. So I get that aspect of it. Of course, I want these players to, remain professional and still show up and do your job. I mean, even, whatever's going on with Kyrie Irving, like, I think some of it is the social justice stuff. So, I always respect that. But then again, it's like, I got to go to work. I can be mad about what's going on in the world, but I got to go to work. And like, once again, dude, I was gonna say, you're just a basketball player, but I don't believe that. These people are more than athletes; they're human beings as well. So they have opinions as well. But yeah, I don't know. I just, and it could be mental. It could be some mental health issues that he's going through. I know some people have said that. So, or maybe he just wanted to go to his sister's birthday party, and we all should just let him be a human being, you know.
Right.
So,
I mean, because at the end
but
of the day, they still have the choice of if they don't want to play or not. It's kind of like with the COVID thing too. It's like, hey, you know what the season's gonna be. It's your choice. You can play or not, right?
but how is that possible? Like, I mean, that is part of the. Yeah, I'm for the players, but like I do kind of find that like, well, you're gonna get. I mean, literally, it's like me saying, well, I'm not gonna work tomorrow, but you better pay me. And I may not even show up next week. It just
Right.
kind of depends on how I'm feeling. I mean,
Yeah. I don't know
good.
how that works, or if they get
I
fined or
was
penalized or whatever.
I was listening to ESPN yesterday or today, and they indicated that if the NBA comes back and whatever findings they find, he could lose like per game money. And they were saying it's like I don't remember what the number is, but it's a lot of freaking money he was going to lose if because I guess the NBA is doing some sort of investigation and it just all seems weird to me. Is like if the Nets knew that he went to the party and they knew that he couldn't play because of policy, why didn't they just say that? Like it's all just weird to me. Like I don't, or did
Yeah, they're not
Kyrie
saying
not tell them,
anything.
or did
Yeah.
Kyrie not tell them? They just say I don't want to play. Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know what's going on because if he simply went to his sister's birthday party, right? He certainly's got that right, like Blake said,
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to follow the protocol out of respect to NBA, and it's not just the NBA that has made these decisions; it's also the Players Association, which tells you the players want these decisions too.
Right.
So he just has. So like I said, I have no idea, but it's just really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, and it's how much do the Nets know? Because then, like, it's all of a sudden they make this trade. Why Kyrie is gone? You get what I'm saying? Like how much?
Well,
Like I wonder how much they know because it sounds like there's not a lot of communication between them and Kyrie right now.
Well, my question is, how much of this was KD saying, "I came here to play with this little guard that went MIA. You go get my boy Harden right now, and we'll deal
clean
with
it up."
Kyrie later, and we'll clean it up." Yeah, because and look, I mean, why not trade Kyrie? Get two good pieces. Yeah, Richard called it, dude. That was great. Go get Westbrook. How funny would that be, dude? It actually that would really get me excited. And then they go on to win a championship. Like,
Yeah.
you know, who would have
OKC.
predicted that? Yeah, yeah.
I'm free to report that Kyrie has disclosed to the Nets why he's not there, and they're aware of it. They just haven't disclosed that to the media or anything like that. And
To the public.
in all their statements, that's why they have come out and said we will address it when he comes back, type thing.
Okay. Here's my thing. These, I'm always for the athlete, but like, you live in a day and age where you guys can get on any podcast you want and voice your opinion. Just release something. Like, hey fans, I'm sorry I'm missing the games. I know you guys don't completely understand everything that's going on, but I got to take care of some business. I'll be back. Whatever, right? Just appease us. You know what I'm saying? Lie to us if you have to. Just give us something. Don't just, I'm a fantasy owner, dang it. Like, I need to know if I need to trade you.
and like,
that's all that matters to me.
What they need to do or doing what they want to do, but like, he hasn't played since last Tuesday or Wednesday when the thing at the Capitol happened. Well, the party was Sunday night when that happened. So like, he missed 2 or 3.
So it was Sunday after the Wednesday.
Yeah. So it was just past Sunday when the party was, and he stopped playing after Wednesday after the attacks. So, so I mean, like, it's.
See, there was someone on ESPN. Who did I hear say that? But they basically said that do not be surprised if he retires. I guess on the last
Stephen A.
Stephen A.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
he said he should just retire.
Like Stephen A. said that he should.
Well, yeah, he said that, but this other guy said that, like, to the effect of, like, Kyrie has spoken about it in the past. Like, don't be like, especially with this whole social justice thing. Like, he is so passionate about that and maybe that's it. Maybe he's just like, dude, like, I'm done with this sport. I'll come back later, but I feel like this is a stronger cause, and yeah.
But let people know. That's the thing. Don't leave them hanging, because it's like this is the effect of like the NBA. Like, the players are first. Like, the players are, they're dangling the nets right now, and the rest of the league to figure out what he's going to do. You know what I'm saying? He has that much power.
Does this help them? Does this help the league when you have these stories? Like, does it help his? I don't think it helps his image, but
like,
it definitely doesn't help the league.
They want the power on one hand to be able to decide where and when and everything that they want to do. But on the other side, they want to be paid, a specific amount of money, which is a lot of money, to you and I. Obviously, in their realm, once you get above a certain amount, it's kind of FU money, like Joe Rogan says. Like,
my man.
But at the same time, like, you can't have this, like, I want to get paid this much and I want to have the demands, of doing whatever. But then the people that are paying you that money, you can't give them they're paying your salary because you go out and you're a performer. You perform and play basketball. That's your job.
Right.
Just the same as if you performed on Broadway. If you stop showing up to play Hamilton every night, at the theater, guess what? They're going to stop paying you, and it's the same thing. I saw something. What's his name? Kyrie's played like 23 games and missed 53 since he's been in net.
That's crazy.
And granted, last year was partly because of his shoulder surgery and all that. So that's part of that is injury.
But I think I said this last week, but part of me wonders if the organization's okay with that.
Well, I mean, you got to look at it
As
like this: like you're part. If you're the star player, I mean, you are the organization. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm kind of treating it like Jared to where like you're in this play and you are the star of the play. Like we have to make decisions with you. You just can't leave. You know what I'm saying?
right, but
Like
my thing is the organization okay? Okay, fine. It's the beginning of the season. We'll get some wins. We'll get some losses. As long as we have you for the playoffs, as long as you have fresh tires at the end of the year, that's good. Like just show up at the end. You know what I'm saying? Like I because there's part. I
but to
mean,
say
especially
that,
with all these injuries,
right,
You know what I'm saying? Like so,
right,
I go ahead.
and it being a COVID year also, like they probably look at it different. But let us know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, it's
All
also
right.
go
Just
ahead.
real quick, I know somebody made a statement about Kyrie Irving being the star player there. I
Hmm.
really dispute that. Kevin Durant's the star player there.
Yeah.
That's and also we have to look at it like how fair. So if they are okay with it, just to say theoretically, it's your employer, and if your employer is okay with you missing work, so be it. It's none of our business. However, how does Kevin Durant feel? He shows up every night, putting up points, playing his best. And let's be honest, if there was a playoff today, the Nets ain't making it. They're not
Right.
in the playoffs right now. And granted,
Right.
they will make the playoffs. I mean, let's not be dumb. But
Yeah.
but the way they're playing now, they're not.
Right. Yeah. Well, and yeah, I mean, that was the other thing. It's like, like how yeah, you're right. Like how upset is KD? Because I mean, he's got to be like, I came here for a reason, yada yada. So, but one thing I wanted to ask too, who's the better trio? Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant, or Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant?
The second three, you haven't even seen
Yeah,
the
I would
first
say the second
one
thing.
yet.
Not only
What do
that,
you say,
not
Jared?
only
I mean,
Now, granted, we haven't seen them play together.
yeah, right. We haven't seen him play. That's going to be tough. I mean, Steph is the greatest shooter of all time. So, like right there, and KD's on that. I mean, and Clay is clutch. I'd have to go with the Warriors one.
I mean,
I mean,
Dang.
even Clay's throwing up 60 points a
Kyrie.
night occasionally. It's
yeah,
I see. Well,
it's a better team, and Harden's gonna need Kyrie and Harden need the ball a lot. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Steph and Clay do
Well,
not need
If
the ball. Steph and Clay do not need the ball to make something happen. You know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah, but they need screens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They need a bunch of. So to me, as far as isolation goes, the first three, the new Nets, right? I mean, just because I think any one of those guys can get a bucket. You have to double those guys. Like they're just that good. So that I'm real curious to see how they're going to gel together. We've seen how beautiful. I'm telling you, that Golden State run, it was some of the most beautiful basketball ball
All time.
movement,
Yeah.
just easy. Like it's like as a coach or as just someone that watches, like you just sit back and you just go, that's how easy this game is when you have elite shooters,
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, with all the dribbling between Harden and Kyrie, it could be interesting. But man, if those three dudes come together and say, we know why we're here. This is what we're going after. Let's gel, But I will say this. I'm worried about their defense,
Oh yeah.
and they're not going to have a bench. I mean,
No.
they got rid of like everybody. Well, I guess they really didn't, right? They just got rid of a bunch
Got
of
rid of
picks.
Allen and yeah, Prince, Picks, and Levert.
So they got
Dinwiddie
three.
is injured. They still have Harris and then a whole bunch of nobodies. And they got Jordan. Like their defense is not gonna be good at all. I think Allen was like one of the reasons their defense was really good. So
They
it'll
may
be
not need it
interesting.
with that offense.
nah. I
Yeah.
think Kevin Durant's going to regret his choice. I'm just saying it right now. I mean, those other two guys, they're just not mentally stable people. Like they're
Who,
not.
Harden?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, we really haven't had problems with Harden. I
dude.
mean,
Every other person they get for him to play with has problems with him. Every star player, you read a story at least once or twice a year where there was a problem somewhere with that other player. I'm telling you,
Chris
Kevin
Paul.
Durant's gonna regret it. He's gonna regret it, and I'm guaranteeing you, the Nets have just blown up the next 10 years with this trade.
If it goes wrong, they're set back for a while.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But what this move today to get Harden, you know what that move was for, right? That was to ensure KD came back after his 2-year deal. So that's what that.
Yeah,
you're gonna want to mess with them. Like I don't know. I just feel like he's not gonna do it.
So do you think Harden just goes there for a year or two?
Well, Harden's under contract for
2 years, right? 3 years. Yeah. I thought it was 2, but you might be right. You follow it more than I do.
But
the Nets have to take his contract basically.
Yes. Yep.
Man, how does that work? Like paying those 3 guys that much money, like.
So the way it works is the money going out has to be within 80% of money coming back in. So contracts have to be within 80% or 80% of compensation. So there can only be a 20% dip. So if you're trading out $10 million in contracts, you have to bring $8 million in contracts back, or vice versa. So that's kind of how the NBA works.
I would love to sit in the boardroom on trade day. I mean, could you imagine? Before
that's what I was thinking about driving. I was like, how do you?
You know how hard it is to get it.
Call Cleveland and all these to make that trade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I mean, you know how hard it is to do a trade in fantasy league. I mean, it's imagine doing it with real people.
Right.
So speaking of, is it anyone going to take up Derek on his offer for Harden? Has anybody got any trades to send for Harden?
Might send him one, a little sweetheart deal.
I may have sent him one too.
Oh yeah. What'd you send him?
I kicked tires.
Huh?
I kicked tires.
What'd you offer?
I offered Jamal Murray, and right now Bobby Portis for James Harden.
That's not terrible.
It's not terrible because you don't know what Harden's gonna be.
You get bubble Murray.
What's that?
If you get the bubble Murray.
What'd you do, Jared?
I haven't done one yet.
I was looking right before we went on.
Trade with a guy that you're playing this week, though.
You playing him this week?
Yeah, I'm killing him.
Okay.
I'm like you killed him.
Yeah, I did. I came back strong, dude. And I'm doing that with like my fourth, with Kyrie out and Towns out all week, and Tatum. My first 3 picks are all out. Three of my 4.
I had 3 blocks against you all last week. I already have 17 in the first 2 days, really. And it's just like, dude, what in the entire hell is going on?
My boy Turner got me like 6 blocks last night, or 5.
Yeah,
so I was looking at it before we got on air, and I thought about sending him Kyrie Irving and Chris Paul. I don't know if I want to give up that much though.
I think that he would. I would take that definitely. I do think that you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You may be like, are you getting a second player back?
No. Well, I would have to because I'd be getting rid of 2 players. So yeah, I would have to grab somebody from waivers.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably make them send me another back, maybe a C- player or something like that.
Hold on, I'm giving him. What are you saying? You am I giving up too much? You're saying?
You may be giving up too much because you don't know what Harden's going to be.
You don't know
what I'm saying?
He's going to be too. He may come out Saturday and be like, "I retire."
I know
that is true. That is true. Like what Richard said. Like, hey, so like, yeah, you may be all right then. Like if Kyrie burns you.
But he's. I mean, when he plays, he gets me all the stats, and then him and Chris Paul together on my team is actually great because they're racking up some assists and stuff. So, but
I would say
I mean,
if you sent that trade, he wouldn't refuse it.
I don't think he would either. But I don't think I want to do. I'd rather have two, because if one of them gets hurt, then I have the other. If James gets hurt or sits out, then I get no points. So I think it's hard to try to trade for a player like that. You know, because you really have to get rid of like two really good players.
Jared had to give up what, Butler and Ayton ultimately last year when I traded Harden, and that was.
I got Bradley Beal, Shea, Giannis, Vic, Draymond. So
send him Vic and send.
Ooh. Vic and who?
Who'd Shea? You say?
I would send Vic and Shea.
Hey.
Who else did you say?
Hold on. You got to look at it like this. When I traded Jared Harden for Ayton and Butler last year.
Yep.
And it was like somebody
That was
else.
Stupid.
It worked for both of us though.
Did it?
But like he got prime Harden. You don't know what Harden's gonna be.
Yeah. Right now
you know what I'm saying? He got
Harden's
Harden.
Harden's gonna get his. Harden's gonna get his.
But I also heard
Hey, listen.
He's the biggest drop in points per game from one season to the next this year. He was at 34.9% average last year. He's averaging 24 points this year.
To who? Harden is?
Harden is. Yep.
Harden hasn't even ran a mile in 3 months.
That's the whole. Yeah, that's the other thing.
He came in looking like you, Jared.
Right.
Hey,
he looked like me out there.
The other night, I was playing, and I'd gone to this new church to play pickup ball. Somebody in my neighborhood was like, "Hey,
I need to go.
We need to play, or we need players." And I was like, "Please, I need to play." And like the first 3 weeks I played were before Christmas, and then this was my first week since Christmas that we got to play that wasn't on Christmas or New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
And go out first 2-3 games. I probably went 9 for 15 from 3.
Dang.
3 games.
Hold on. Did anyone else shoot? You got 15 shots up?
Games. Like basically like 3.
Oh, okay. I was like, dang it.
I was like, I mean, like literally, there was like 2 times I like took 2 steps across the half court line, and granted, this isn't a full court, but like I took like 2 across the half court line and just pulled up and just bottom of the net like twice to beat this team. And the guy who organized it, he was like, I don't remember you playing like this last year. He's like, it's 2021, and I was like, 2021 is new year, new me.
There you go.
But like, I had to
come with your jersey. There's no better feeling when they're falling like that, man. It doesn't even make sense. Like it just leaves your hand, and you're just, oh, it's in. You know.
You did the LeBron stuff. You shot and then looked at the
bench.
Did you hear what Jalen Rose said about that?
No, what did he say?
So I guess LeBron, when he shot that, he said bet and turned around because
Schroeder said that you won't hit it.
You won't hit it. So what Jalen says that he goes, man, one thing you got to understand about NBA players is that they love to gamble. So they'll literally be like, is he going to grab the red or green Gatorade or whatever? Bet. So they'll make a bet. So he said that's what happened. Schroeder said bet. So LeBron shot it, turned around and said bet and made it. So that's, dude, I would love to be part of an NBA team. I think it'd be so much fun. Could you imagine just getting paid all that money just to play a game you love?
Up in the locker room every day, Blake.
What'd you say?
You get beat up in the locker room every day.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I wouldn't be this size if I was in the NBA. Hopefully. Oh, I did want to say something. Dude, it really is amazing what LaMelo Ball is doing. I was actually explaining this. Just the fact that he's 19 years old. 19 years old, playing against grown men that are at their peaks, body, all of that. And he's like, it really is a pretty. And when you think about all the players in the world, and at that age, you're able to compete with the likes of LeBron James or whatever. I mean, those are little things in sports I think we kind of overlook. It's like it's kind of annoying because he's related to his dad, but it still is pretty cool.
But I mean that's the new NBA. These players are coming in ready to play.
Yep.
They've just been playing their whole lives and they
He was groomed.
are better. They're just being groomed at age 4, for
Yep.
the league. So it's crazy.
He was fun to watch. I mean, Gordon Hayward's been fun to watch. I mean,
Hornets.
yeah.
Scary Terry Rozier.
Mm-hmm.
I got a buddy who lives in Charlotte. The guy I do my podcast with, they both live in Charlotte, and I was telling him, I go, LaMelo Ball's going to impress you. I promise you. And he was like, I just can't see it. I'm like, he is going to impress you. I promise you. And I've
give him 5 years.
I know, right? I mean, look how good he is now. He's got a triple-double in the first 10 games he's been in the league. And wait till he gets in the.
That was almost back-to-back triple doubles, by the way.
Yeah.
Because he almost got one on his brother. Yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of good storylines in the NBA still. I wish these players would get to playing and all that, but I don't know. I'm sure it's affecting them too, just not having the fans and all that. I'm sure that's got to feel weird, but
fans not being
whatever.
out on the road, going out to eat, going and have some fun, at the script clubs or at or some dive bar, wherever they go. They can't go. Now they're just like literally they have to be in the hotel room. That they can't go anywhere on the floor. I mean, they're basically in the bubble without being in the
crazy.
bubble. Oh.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see how much it wears on them throughout the year.
Because I mean, what if your job regulated you like that and said, hey, you can't you go home, you can't go to the grocery store, you can't
right.
Daughter's basketball, swimming, you can't stay home.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's
I
already
get
tough
it.
for our day to day, let alone like what Jared's saying, stricter rules.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, and I mean, we all get it. It's one of those where it's like, oh, if that's what you got to do to have a season, so be it. But if you're a player, you may be like, man, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't mentally sign up for this. I didn't know how hard it was gonna be away from my family, and literally every movement I do, you guys are watching me, and I always have to be. I mean, that gets old, man. That's where you're kind of taking their freedom away from them.
Their agreement between the players and the owners. That's the agreement. If you want to make this money, we've got to have X number of games, and we've got to make this revenue to be able to pay you that salary that we agreed to pay.
Yeah, that's true.
With as many of these postponements, I mean, that's why the NBA was smart to not even schedule out the whole season. They just scheduled out to like March 15th or something, and then there's no game scheduled after that.
Really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they didn't schedule the whole season so that in this very scenario that's happening right now where we've seen, probably 10 or 15 games have to be canceled or postponed, not canceled. And now they're going to make it up the back half of the season to, so it'll just elongate the playoffs. So the playoffs will start a little bit later, so on and so forth. So, yeah.
They'll take the whole year to get the season finished. That's basically what's going to happen. I mean, there's no timetable. It's like you just – and it may be a thing where that's just how the NBA is. It's 3 months on, a month off. I don't know.
Right. I did get an email from Pacers earlier this week that said tickets are going on sale for games coming here soon. So we're going to start building. Yep.
What was it, 1,000 fans or something like that they're letting in?
Yeah, it's like 25% of capacity, so it's like
way more than 1,000 then. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so that can sit $19,000 at the field house. So so yeah,
about 2,000.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Yeah,
500 I think is what the.
Has this been affecting college? I was just thinking about that today. I feel has it okay.
Yeah, they've had to cancel games, and well, I don't know if they cancel or postpone, but yeah, I've seen little flashes. I can't tell you what
It hit
games.
Butler pretty hard.
What'd you say, Jared?
It hit Butler pretty hard back in like November and December. They had to like they didn't practice or something for like 3-4 weeks. And
Really?
those games, and then they obviously came out of it. And now they're playing games, but yeah.
Well, hopefully they can get a season through it. Get a season through it all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just like it's every other sport, you got this now, and trying to figure out where we're at. Just like life, like where are we at on numbers? Like a vaccine is out. Like, all right, what are we doing? Right.
Right.
So,
yeah. Uh-oh. I hear a baby crying.
Well, I mean, I've seen my healthcare friends. Now most of them are on their second dose of it. So now, does that mean that the supply is gonna, because you have to take 2 doses, correct?
Yeah, you have to take one, and 3 weeks later take a second one.
Yeah,
that's for the Pfizer one, though. I don't know what Moderna and them are doing. I don't know if those are 2, but yeah, for sure Pfizer is.
Yeah, but I mean, so does that mean that there's going to be it's going to like trickle down to old folks' homes and
they've already released it for older. I think 70 or older was what I got the email for. So yeah, they've already said if you're 70 or older, you can go get your shot now.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know some places like New York. I don't know about Indiana for sure, but I know some places like New York. If you're an essential worker, you can schedule your shot now too, like a grocery store clerk or something like that. Somebody that has to deal with customers face to face. You can get your shot there. I don't know. I think it's a state to state thing though, so I don't know for sure about Indiana. So I'm not really too concerned because like I get it when I get it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, so I wanted to ask you guys, from the riots, what was your favorite meme?
I'll show you.
What's your favorite meme?
You guys go. I gotta find my.
I think the one I think it was Bin Laden, where he's like, "Well, if I knew it was that easy to get into the Capitol building." Dude, that's the best thing. What you got?
What does it say?
Yeah, we can't.
So the one black guy who was standing there.
Yeah.
Somebody
is gonna be arrested.
Says DoorDash for Terrence.
There you go.
That's really funny, dude. Dude, the internet is undefeated, man. When it comes to memes and stuff, oh my gosh, it's the best.
And it's
Richard,
it's like instantaneous too. Like,
yeah.
Scrap's happening. People see it. They pull pictures. They take it into some meme generator, and boom, it's out there.
So quick. So, all right, boys.
Where the guy he tased his own balls trying to get a picture.
Oh man.
He put the taser between his legs.
Yeah.
Picture and tased himself in the nuts.
Oh my gosh.
I think
that's a mess.
My favorite one is the one where the guy's going and he's climbing up on the wall, and there's Scar on the top of the thing, like Lion King, and then he falls off. It's my favorite one.
That's hilarious
right there. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Really good memes.
Definitely some comedy came out of that for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
know the guy with the horns. I saw an interview where he hasn't eaten since Friday because there's no organic food in prison.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
His
mom
said that he had to have organic food or it would upset his stomach.
Yeah. Better drink a lot of water.
What a crap show.
All right.
Episode 99 in the books.
99.
I got 99 problems.
Get that 100.
Hey, Kevin, you got to talk to Amy about next week. We have to have her on.
I got you.
Okay, make sure she shows up.
I got you.
she don't come swinging.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tell her it's my birthday present. It's my 40th birthday Monday. So
You know she's
Oh,
that's right.
nothing but power punches.
Right.
All power punches.
That's right.
It's a boss fight. It's all power punching, no jabs.
That's right. King Hippo.
Yep.